Working in long-term care is really, really hard. And I often get asked why on earth anybody would do that. Those same skills that you use there could be applied to a lot of other careers that are more glamorous, more lucrative. I always answer by telling them a story. I once worked as a hotel manager, and one day I had this one guest who demanded to speak with the manager. She was absolutely furious. I mean, livid. She cussed me out, called me every name under the sun. And the reason that she was so upset, the curtains in her room were the wrong color. How could she possibly relax with curtains that were such a disgusting shade of green? So, what did I do? I used all those customer service skills that we know. I made it right. I apologized, changed the curtains to a color that she approved of, offered a few extras for her stay. But inside, how was I feeling about that interaction? Wasn't great. Fast forward a few years, and I was a nursing home administrator running my first facility in Whittier, California. Now, I'd been there just a few weeks when I had a family member who demanded to speak with me. She was furious. I mean, just out of control, screaming and yelling, cussed me out, called me every name under the sun. And the reason that she was so upset, the curtains in her mom's room were the wrong color. How could her mother possibly get better with curtains that had a color that didn't promote healing? So, what did I do? I used all those same customer service skills. I made it right. I apologized. I changed the curtains in her room to a color that she approved of, offered some extras for her stay. But inside, how did I feel about that interaction? Now, in the middle of this weird deja vu moment, I had this moment of realization. She couldn't control what was happening to her mother. She was declining in health. She was in a room with a roommate. She didn't recognize her daughter on most days or even remember her own name. She was actively dying. And whether the daughter realized it or not, she was grieving as she slowly lost who her mother was. And she couldn't control any of those things, but she could control the curtains. And I had the privilege of being able to help her regain some control over what was really a terrible time in her life. Now, on the surface, those two interactions were almost identical, but underneath the surface was the reason why so many of us choose to do what we do and work in this really, really difficult field. We get to be the ones who take the brunt of that frustration and grief. We meet people at some of the hardest times in their life and we give them comfort and compassion and some control. We get to make people's lives better, and that is the thing that makes all the difference. That's why we do what we do.